remain dominant in the world today. Much of this progress was aided by seaborne trade and migration that spread people, commerce, knowledge, and culture throughout the area. Sadly, these developments also spurred the rise of large-scale, highly organized, and technically complex warfare as the region's history is replete with armed conflict. Not only was this strife common on land, but the Mediterranean Sea became the birthplace of organized naval combat. In 1210 BC, a Hittite fleet under the command of King Suppiluliuma II defeated a rival Cypriot fleet off Cyprus in what is acknowledged to be the first recorded naval battle in history. It would not be the last, as a succession of varying powers vied for control over these coveted waters. Over the next 2.5 millennia, scores of similar battles were fought across the length and breadth of the Mediterranean, as well as around its many islands and coastal areas. Many of these had decisive results, helping to facilitate the rise or fall of numerous nation-states and empires. Many more were less pivotal in their outcomes, but still represented a life-or-death struggle for the participants involved. A common denominator in all was a sea bottom strewn with remnants of sunken ships and the tinging of crimson blood in the otherwise clear blue waters of this contested sea. While a full accounting of these various engagements is beyond the scope of this text, it is worthwhile to highlight some of the key battles. In 480 BC, a Greek fleet under the command of Themistocles defeated a substantially larger Persian fleet under Xerxes the Great of Salamis, thus helping to blunt the ongoing Persian invasion of Greece and saving much of Europe from potential Persian domination. 2 centuries later, in 260 BC, a Roman fleet commanded by consul Caius Duilius defeated a similarly sized Carthaginian fleet under Hannibal off Mylae, Sicily, thus signalling the rise of Rome as a naval power. Over the next 6 decades, the Romans won additional victories, including at Ecnomus in 256 BC, the Agates Islands in 241 BC, and Ebro River in 217 BC, which eventually solidified Rome's dominance over the central and western Mediterranean and helped facilitate the demise of Carthage as a regional power. In 190 BC, a Roman Rhodian fleet under Eudamus defeated a Syrian fleet under Polixenidas at Myonnesus. This battle allowed the Romans to push into Asia Minor and expand their empire eastward while securing Roman dominion over the entire Mediterranean. Although there would be ongoing challenges, the Romans retained this dominant position for the next 6 centuries, thus truly transforming the Mediterranean into Mare Nostrum, our sea. Given this lack of external foes, the Romans spent part of this period confronting each other as various factions within the ruling elite competed for power and control over the empire. In the 1st century BC, this rivalry erupted into open warfare between 3 competing leaders: Octavian in Rome, Antony in the east, and Sextus Pompey in Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica, and Apulia. Recognizing that whoever controlled the Mediterranean also controlled the empire, much of this fighting took place at sea, and there were a number of notable naval battles fought between the opposing sides. Amongst these were at Cumae in 37 BC and at Mylae and Naulocus in 36 BC that helped secure Octavian's ascendancy over Pompey. Then in 31 BC, a western fleet under Octavian decisively defeated an eastern fleet under Antony and Cleopatra at Actium, Greece. With this victory, Rome reasserted its authority over the entire empire, thus facilitating an age of Pax Romana, Roman peace that would last for the next 200 years. The eventual demise of Rome in the 5th century AD saw a return to naval conflict in the Mediterranean as new powers sought to fill the void left behind by the dying regime. What remained of the empire predominantly presided in the east, with its capital located in Constantinople. For about 100 years, this Eastern Byzantine Empire maintained a degree of control over the Mediterranean, allowing it to reconquer much of the territory lost in the west, but in the 7th century a new threat emerged as an immense army of Muslim Arabs invaded the region from the east. Motivated by a call for holy war, it only took these Arabs a few years to capture most of the Asian and African territories bordering the Mediterranean Sea, and in AD 674 they actually put Constantinople itself under siege. While this siege was eventually lifted in 678, this began a period of recurring conflict between Islam and European Christianity that would last for the next 900 years. Beyond this, the period also saw a high degree of internal strife as a variety of new kingdoms and states arose from the ashes of the older orders in Europe to confront each other. Many of these conflicts centered in the Mediterranean, where countless battles were fought.